So today we are going to see types of data pipelines and their tools in the GCP. Okay, so the data pipelines are used for what purpose? The data pipelines are used to move and process and then transform the data effectively. Okay, so in GCP, we have different tools are available based upon the type of processing needs. There are different type of processing are there. So based upon the different type of processing, we have the different type of tools are there. Where I have mentioned here, if you see here, there is a one more tool called, like for example, if you see there is a tool called Dataproc, and here is one more tool called Dataflow. Next one you have Data Fusion. Then also we have the Terraform tool, and then we have the Airflow tool. Yeah, different tools are there based upon the need of a different processing. Now to create the pipeline of Spark and Hadoop jobs, we have the tool called Dataproc. It means when we are going to use this Dataproc tool, when we need to use this Dataproc tool is when you are going with the batch processing. When we are going with the batch processing, then we are going to use the tool called Dataproc. It means processing the large amount of the data in small chunks. Okay, when you are dealing this type of processing, then we have to use the tool called Dataproc. Okay, next, if you want to create the beam pipeline, if you want to create the beam pipeline, if you want to deal with the beam pipeline, so for that, what we can do is you can go with the data flow tool. It means in which situation we are going to use this data flow is when you are going to deal with the real-time data processing. The real-time data is nothing but a streaming data. So here you have seen batch processing. Here we have seen batch processing. Here what we are seeing streaming data. Here we are streaming data. Here we are seeing streaming data. Here we are using for the purpose of batch processing, we are using the Dataproc tool. Here for the streaming data, if you want to use it for the streaming data to process the streaming data, then we have to use the data flow tool. Okay, so if you want to use the tool which will be there is a no code, if you don't want any code, if you want just a GUI based, then you can use the data fusion. Simply what is happening here is it is a one of the pipeline which will be a no code. It means it will be everything will be GUI. It means simply very simple like a drag and drop. Okay, simply you can go with the data fusion if you want a code free GUI pipeline. Okay, so the important thing here, we have seen the different pipelines. We have seen it means what are the tools are required for the different pipelines. We have seen based upon the processing need. But here the important thing what we need to observe is workflow orchestration is very important thing which we need to understand here, because creating all this pipeline is okay, but the workflow orchestration tool is very important. Why? Because here, after creating the pipeline, we need to orchestrate them. Then what is meant by orchestration? As you told, we need to orchestrate them. Then what is meant by orchestration? The orchestration means monitoring and managing the pipeline. Continuously, we need to monitor and we need to manage the pipeline. For that, we have one of the tool called Airflow tool. By using this tool, what we can do is we can do the orchestration. It means we can monitor and we can manage the pipelines. And the next one is the infra provision, the infrastructure. To create the infrastructure also, we have the one more tool called Terraform tool. By using the Terraform tool, we can create the infrastructure also. Here we have different tools we have seen now. Dataproc is one of the tool, Dataflow is one of the tool, Data Fusion is one of the tool, and Airflow is one of the tool, and Terraform is one of the tool. There are different tools are there which we are going to use for the different purposes. Okay, all these, the Dataproc, Dataflow, Airflow, tool, all that we are going to learn in the further classes. Okay, now we will see just a basic information. When we are going to use, that is enough. When the Dataproc is used, when we are going with the batch processing, that time we are going to use the Dataproc. When we are going to use the Dataflow, when you are going with the real-time data like a streaming data processing, that time we are going to use this Dataflow. When we are going to use this data fusion, when you want to simply drag and drop like a no code, that time we are going with the data fusion tool. to orchestrate, to manage and monitor all these pipelines, what tool we have to use? We have to use the Airflow tool. This tool is going to take care of it. And to create any infrastructure, to deploy anything for that infrastructure, we can use the Terraform tool. All these we will learn in the further classes. Okay. Thank you.